The arena was built for death. Tall metal walls rose high into the dark sky, covered with old claw marks and dried blood. Thousands of alien creatures filled the seats, their strange eyes shining with excitement. They had come for only one thing: to watch a human die. In the center of the arena stood a single man. His name was Ethan. He was not wearing armor. He had no weapon in his hands, just simple clothes and calm eyes. Compared to the warriors that usually fought here, he looked weak and small. The aliens pointed at him and laughed. To them, this was not a battle. This was entertainment. High above the arena, a heavy steel gate began to open with a loud grinding sound. A deep growl echoed through the air. From the dark tunnel stepped the apex beast. It was huge. Its body was covered in thick black scales. Long, sharp claws dug into the metal floor with every step. Its eyes glowed red like fire in the dark. This creature had destroyed armies. It had ripped apart battle tanks. Hundreds of the strongest alien fighters had died to its claws. The crowd went mad with joy. "Human will become meat," some alien shouted. 2 seconds and he dies, another screamed. The beast lowered its head and stared at Ethan. Ethan's heart was racing, but he did not move. He had been brought here as a prisoner, forced into this fight as a warning to all humans. The aliens wanted to prove that humans were weak, that they were not meant to stand among the stars. Ethan slowly raised his empty hands to show he carried no weapon. The aliens laughed even harder. The beast suddenly charged. Its speed was terrifying. The ground shook as it rushed forward. The crowd erupted in cheers, ready to watch blood spill across the floor. Ethan did not run. At the last second, when the beast was about to strike, Ethan closed his eyes and spoke softly. "It's okay. I'm not here to hurt you." His voice was calm. No shouting. No fear in his words. The apex beast skidded to a sudden stop just inches from Ethan's body. Dust flew into the air. Silence fell over the arena. The beast sniffed the air slowly. Its red eyes focused on Ethan's face. Everyone waited for the killing blow. Instead, something impossible happened. The massive creature slowly lowered its head. Its glowing eyes softened. Then, like a lost child searching for comfort, it gently pushed its head into Ethan's chest. The crowd froze. No one spoke. No one breathed. The most dangerous predator in the galaxy was not attacking the human. It was seeking comfort from him. Ethan stood still, his hands shaking. Slowly, with great care, he lifted one hand and touched the beast's rough head. The creature did not pull away. Instead, it leaned closer, letting out a deep, gentle sound. Not a roar, a soft sound of peace. Across the arena, alien scientists stared at their screens in shock. Their machines showed no control signals, no fear waves, no chemical triggers. The beast was not being controlled. It had made this choice on its own. The aliens could not understand it. They had always believed that power ruled everything. Bigger claws meant victory. Stronger jaws meant control. But this human had done something no weapon ever could. He had reached the heart of a monster. Memories flashed through Ethan's mind. Back on Earth, he had worked with broken animals. Creatures rescued from cages and labs. Beasts that had learned only pain and fear. He remembered sitting beside them for hours, speaking softly, waiting for them to trust again. This apex beast was no different. It was not evil. It was afraid. Slowly, the chains around the creature's body fell loose. Alien guards backed away in fear, unsure what to do. The beast could slaughter everyone in seconds. But it stayed close to Ethan, protecting him. The alien rulers watching from above felt fear for the first time. This was not part of the plan. The human was supposed to die. The beast was supposed to prove their dominance. Instead, the human had broken their greatest weapon without even touching it. Ethan looked into the creature's glowing eyes and whispered, "You are not alone anymore." The beast let out a deep, steady breath and stood tall beside him. Together, they faced the silent arena. In that moment, everything changed. The galaxy had just witnessed the impossible. And this was only the beginning. The arena was still silent. No cheers. No laughter. Only fear. Ethan stood beside the apex beast as if it had always been this way. The massive creature stayed close to him, its huge body forming a living shield. The alien guards did not dare to come near. Their weapons shook in their hands. They had never seen the beast this calm or this loyal. High above, behind thick glass walls, the alien rulers argued loudly. Their plan had failed. The human was alive. Worse, the beast obeyed him. "This is impossible," one of them said. "The beast has no emotions." Another replied in anger, "Then explain why it stands like a trained guard." Their machines were checked again and again. No signals. No control waves. No drugs in the air. Nothing that could explain this bond. Down in the arena, Ethan slowly sat on the cold metal ground. The beast followed and lay beside him, its head resting near Ethan's shoulder. A deep calm filled the space around them. Some aliens in the crowd felt uneasy. Others felt something new for the first time. Doubt. Ethan gently spoke to the creature, not in commands, but in soft words. He spoke about Earth, about open skies, about oceans, about freedom. The beast did not understand the words fully, but it understood the feeling behind them. For the first time in its life, it felt safe. Minutes later, emergency lights flashed. A loud alarm echoed through the arena. The rulers had made their choice. "Prepare the shock grid," one of them ordered. "If we cannot control the beast, we will break it." The metal floor suddenly sparked with blue light. Powerful energy rushed through the arena ground. Aliens believed no living thing could stand this level of pain. The shock hit. Ethan fell to one knee in pain. The apex beast roared in sudden anger. But it did not attack. Instead, it wrapped its massive body around Ethan, taking the worst of the energy into its own flesh. The crowd gasped. The beast screamed in pain, but it did not move away. It chose to protect. The shock stopped after a few seconds. Smoke rose from the floor. Ethan struggled to stand, breathing hard. The beast stood slowly too, wounded but unbroken. The rulers were shaken. It protected him, one whispered in fear. Ethan placed his hand on the beast's side. The creature flinched, but did not pull away. Ethan closed his eyes and whispered again, "You don't have to fight anymore. I will stay." For reasons science could not explain, the beast calmed. The gates of the arena suddenly opened again. Heavily armed alien soldiers rushed in. Their weapons glowed with deadly power. Ethan stood up straight and moved in front of the beast without thinking. The crowd watched in shock. The small human stood between the guns and the monster. One soldier shouted, "Move, human. It is a kill order." Ethan did not move. "If you want to kill it," he said calmly, "you will have to kill me first." The soldier hesitated. The apex beast growled low. Thousands of eyes watched as fear spread through the armed unit. They were trained to fight enemies, not protectors. A new voice echoed through the arena speakers. A calm, cold voice. "This human is dangerous, not because he is strong, but because he changes what we control." The ruler had made another decision. Instead of killing Ethan, they would study him. Moments later, powerful metal restraints shot from the floor. Before Ethan could react, they wrapped around his arms and legs. The beast tried to attack the machines, but energy shields blocked every strike. Ethan was lifted into the air. The beast roared in anger and fear. It smashed against the field again and again. The ground cracked. Walls trembled. Guards fell back in panic. "Do not harm the human," one ruler shouted. "We still need him alive." Ethan looked down at the beast. Their eyes met. Fear filled the creature's glowing gaze. "It's okay," Ethan said softly, even as he was being pulled away. "I will come back." The beast let out a deep, broken sound as Ethan disappeared behind thick metal doors. For the first time, the apex beast was alone again. But now it knew what it had lost. And deep inside, something powerful was waking up. Not rage. Not hunger. Hope. Elsewhere deep inside the alien command complex, Ethan was thrown into a cold white room made of metal and glass. Strange machines surrounded him. Alien scientists watched closely from behind shields. They did not see a weak human anymore. They saw a mystery. They saw a threat. And they saw the key to a power they had never understood. Ethan stood quietly, his hands still shaking. He was captured. The beast was trapped. And the galaxy was about to learn a truth it was not ready for. Humans do not rule with force. They rule with connection. And nothing is more dangerous than a bond that cannot be broken. Ethan did not know how much time had passed. The cold, white room had no windows. No sound. Only soft machine noises and the quiet breathing of alien scientists behind thick glass. Bright lights followed his every move. Invisible scanners moved across his body again and again. They were searching for a secret inside him. But Ethan was just a human. Or so he believed. Far away from him, the apex beast paced inside a massive energy cage. Deep inside the alien military base, the creature walked back and forth, its claws striking the hard floor. It did not roar. It did not attack the walls. It simply waited. It waited for Ethan. The guards were nervous. Dozens of heavy weapons pointed at the beast at all times. But the creature did not care about them. Its eyes only looked toward the direction where Ethan had been taken. Across the galaxy, something else was happening. Whispers. Security recordings from the arena had spread faster than the aliens expected. Black market traders leaked the footage. Soon, hidden human stations, rebel alien groups, and even neutral worlds began to watch the impossible moment again and again. The apex beast bowing to a human. A monster choosing trust over blood. For many species, this changed everything. On a small human outpost near the edge of known space, a group of officers watched the video in complete silence. Their hands trembled. "That's not a weapon," one of them said quietly. "That's a bond." Another whispered, "If the aliens learn how humans do this, they'll never let us go free again." A message was sent to Earth. Urgent. Encrypted. Dangerous. Back inside the alien facility, the rulers gathered in a dark chamber. Giant holograms of the apex beast and Ethan hovered in the air. Data flowed endlessly around them. Humans should not have this ability, one ruler said. They were classified as weak. "We were wrong," another replied. "Their bodies are weak. Their minds are not their true weapon." A third voice spoke slowly, full of fear. "It is their hearts." On the table before them stood many small containers. Inside each floated growing creatures. Young apex beasts. Clones. "If one human can control one beast," a ruler said coldly, "then imagine if we force humans to control an army of them." The decision was made. They would break Ethan and use his nature as a weapon. Inside the white room, a metal door slid open. Tall alien figures entered, their faces hidden behind dark masks. Machines rolled in behind them. Ethan was tied to a chair made of cold steel. Light bands wrapped around his arms and chest. He tried to stay calm, but fear crawled through his body. A screen lit up in front of him. On it was the apex beast. Wounded. Bleeding. Locked inside its cage. Ethan's eyes widened in panic. "Do not hurt it," he shouted. A cold alien voice replied, "Then teach us how you did it." Electric pain shot through Ethan's body. He screamed. They asked again and again, "How did you control the beast? How did you enter its mind?" "You are lying when you say you do not know." Each time Ethan said the same thing. "I didn't control it. I just didn't hurt it." Pain followed every answer. But Ethan did not break. Between the shocks, his thoughts stayed with the beast. He remembered its warm breath, the gentle way it had leaned into him, the fear in its eyes when he was taken away. He would not betray that trust. In the cage, the apex beast felt something was wrong. It felt Ethan's pain. Without understanding how, the creature let out a long, deep call that echoed through the base. Machines shook. Lights flickered. Guards stumbled back in fear. Something inside the beast was changing. It was no longer just a predator. It was becoming a protector. Inside the torture room, Every machine suddenly shut down. The lights went dark. Alarms screamed across the facility. The aliens froze. Power failure was impossible in this space. In the darkness, the screen showing the apex beast went black. Ethan's heart stopped. Then the wall behind the glass exploded. Metal and fire flew across the room. Alien scientists were thrown through the air. Smoke filled everything. Through the burning hole in the wall, a massive shadow stepped forward. Red eyes. Black scales. The apex beast had broken free. It roared in rage, not from hunger, not from bloodlust, but from grief. It saw Ethan tied to the chair. In a single strike, it shattered the restraints without touching his body. Ethan collapsed to the floor. The beast lowered its head close to him, checking that he was alive. Ethan reached up with shaking hands. "I knew you would come," he whispered. The beast stood tall and turned toward the burning hallway. This time, it was not running to kill. It was running to save. Across the galaxy, fleets were moving. Humans were coming. And the aliens had just made the worst mistake in their history. They had turned a bonded beast and a human into enemies. And nothing in the universe was strong enough to stop what was coming next. The sky above the alien world turned dark with moving shadows. Massive human ships arrived silently from deep space. They did not announce themselves. They did not threaten. They simply came. Inside the alien base, alarms screamed without rest. Red lights flashed through long metal halls. Soldiers ran in fear. Officials shouted orders no one could follow clearly. The impossible had started. The apex beast ran through the burning corridors with Ethan on its back. Fire exploded behind them. Blasting doors fell apart under the beast's claws. The creature did not slow down. It had one purpose: escape. Ethan held tightly to the thick scales on its neck. Hot air rushed past them. His mind was racing, but his heart was steady. He trusted the beast more than anything now. They reached a locked blast gate. Huge metal walls blocked the exit. The beast lowered its head and slammed into it with full force. The first strike cracked the wall. The second broke it. The third shattered it completely. They burst into open air. Above them, the night sky was full of stars and human warships. Ethan looked up in shock. "They came for us," he whispered. The apex beast let out a thunder-like roar that shook the ground. Human ships responded with light signals flashing in the sky. For the first time in its life, the beast was not alone in a world that feared it. But the aliens were not finished. The ground behind them exploded as hundreds of alien fighters poured out of tunnels and flying machines. They surrounded the beast in a wide circle, weapons glowing with deadly energy. Ethan slid down from the beast's back and stood in front of it again. "Do not hurt it," he shouted. "This fight is mine." The alien commander laughed through loudspeakers. "You think your kind can save you? We own this world. We own that beast." Ethan looked up at the sky and spoke quietly into the transmitter on his wrist. "We are ready." In the next second, the sky opened. Human fighter ships rained down from orbit like falling stars. They did not attack cities. They did not burn civilians. Every strike was clean and exact. Alien command towers fell. Weapon systems shut down. In minutes, the alien army lost control of the field. The alien commander's voice changed from rage to fear. "This is not possible. Humans are slow, weak." Ethan replied calmly, "We are slow to anger, not weak." The apex beast roared again and charged. This time, it did not fight alone. Human armored vehicles moved beside it. Human soldiers followed its footsteps. They did not fire wildly. They protected each other. They moved as one. The battle lasted less than an hour. When the dust settled, the alien base was silent. Human flags were raised over burning metal towers, and the apex beast stood free beneath the stars. Inside the ruined command center, the surviving alien rulers were caught and forced to their knees. Their faces showed fear they had never felt before. Ethan stepped forward. "You took creatures and turned them into weapons," he said. "You took trust and tried to turn it into control." The ruler whispered in fear, "You could rule the galaxy with that beast with your power. Ethan shook his head. That is where you failed, he said. We don't rule with monsters. We stand beside them. The apex beast stepped next to him as if proving his words. The rulers were taken away in chains. But the war was not over. As the humans searched through the lower labs of the base, a terrible secret was discovered. Rows and rows of young apex beasts, thousands of them, growing in glass tanks, waiting to be trained for war. Human soldiers froze in horror. Ethan fell to his knees in front of one tank. Inside, a small apex cub floated helplessly, its red eyes barely open. They were going to build an army, a soldier whispered. Ethan clenched his fists. No, he said. They were going to build slaves. The apex beast let out a low, broken sound. It pressed its forehead against the glass, staring at the trapped young. In that moment, Ethan made a promise. Every single one of them would be freed. But as the humans began the rescue, a new danger appeared. On distant enemy worlds, powerful alien empires watched the battle recordings. They saw humans fighting beside monsters. They saw a predator defend a human with its own life. And they understood one terrifying truth. If humans could bond with apex beasts, they could bond with anything. An emergency alliance was formed in secret. The strongest alien fleets in the galaxy gathered. Their mission was simple: destroy Earth, before humanity could rise any further. Far away, on a peaceful blue world filled with oceans and clouds, warning signals finally reached Earth. Incoming fleets. Unknown numbers. Impossible size. Back on the alien battlefield, Ethan stood beside the apex beast as human ships prepared for their next jump. The beast lowered its massive head to him. Ethan placed his hand on its warm scales. They're coming for my home now, he said softly. The beast lifted its head and let out a deep, steady roar. It was not a roar of anger. It was a promise. If Earth would be attacked, the apex beast would be there, beside the human who saved its soul. And the galaxy was about to face the greatest war it had ever known. Earth had never been so quiet. Across oceans and cities, people stopped what they were doing as warning messages flashed across every screen on the planet. The sky above filled with silent lights. Not stars. Enemy fleets. Thousands of them. Bigger than anything humanity had ever faced. On the edge of the solar system, human ships formed a thin line of defense. They looked small compared to the endless wave of alien warships moving toward Earth. Inside the main human command ship, Ethan stood beside the apex beast. The creature had never seen a world like Earth before. Blue oceans, white clouds, a living planet full of life. The beast felt it through the silence of space. This was what they were coming to destroy. We don't have enough ships, one commander said softly. Even if every human fights, the numbers are too large. Ethan placed his hand on the beast's side. We don't fight with numbers, he said. We fight with bonds. Across Earth, something incredible began to happen. Zoos opened their gates. Research labs unlocked their cages. Rescue centers released their animals into the wild. Not in fear, but in trust. Wolves ran freely beside soldiers. Eagles filled the skies above cities. Even old war horses were guided back into service by gentle human hands. The world stood together. In space, the enemy fleets finally reached weapon range. The first alien blast struck a human defense ship and tore it apart in seconds. The explosion lit up space like a burning star. Human pilots tightened their grips. This is it, one whispered. Then the apex beast moved. Human scientists had built a massive combat platform just for it. A moving space carrier shaped around its body. The beast did not fear the stars. It did not fear the dark. It feared only losing Ethan. When the platform launched, the enemy hesitated. They had never seen anything like this before. A living god of war moving through space. The apex beast roared. Space itself shook as the sound echoed through human communication channels. That roar lit a fire in every human heart. The battle began. Enemy ships fired without mercy. Energy blasts filled the darkness like lightning storms. Human ships were hit again and again. But they did not break, because every time a human ship fell, 5 more moved forward. The apex beast smashed through the first alien dreadnought with raw force. Metal folded like soft paper. Flames burst into space. The beast moved with purpose, not wild rage. It attacked only what threatened Earth. Aliens tried to surround it. They failed. Human fighter ships flew close to the beast's body, using it as moving cover. They struck with perfect timing. It was not chaos. It was teamwork. On Earth, people cried as they watched the battle live. Parents held children. Strangers held hands. The world had never felt so small or so united. Deep inside the enemy fleet, a hidden weapon activated. A planet cracker cannon. Its target locked onto Earth. Weapon charge detected. A human officer shouted, "If that fires, Earth is gone." The apex beast felt the danger before the machines did. Without waiting, it pushed forward into the heart of the enemy formation. Hundreds of ships fired on it at once. Explosions covered its body in fire and light. Ethan watched in horror from the command deck. "No, please." The beast broke through the storm of weapons and reached the massive cannon ship. It slammed into the cannon with all its strength. The weapon exploded from the inside. The blast threw the apex beast into open space. Silent. Still. For 3 long seconds, nothing moved. On Earth, millions stopped breathing. Ethan fell to his knees. Then the beast's eyes lit up again. It roared. Not in pain, but in victory. Cheers erupted across every human city. The enemy fleet faltered for the first time. They had lost their ultimate weapon. Fear spread through their ranks. Humans pushed forward with everything they had left. But victory came with a price. A group of human ships, carrying families fleeing from the outer colonies, was caught in enemy fire. Their engines failed. They drifted helplessly toward destruction. "They won't make it," a commander whispered. The apex beast saw them. It turned without hesitation and rushed across space, ignoring the enemy attacks striking its back. One by one, it moved the damaged ships behind its massive body, using itself as a shield. The last ship escaped. The beast took the full blast meant for them. It screamed. Ethan felt the pain like it was his own. "Pull back." Ethan shouted. "Please, that's enough." The beast did not pull back. It protected, because that was what it had learned from humans. When the smoke cleared, the enemy fleet had begun to retreat. Not because they were destroyed, but because their will was broken. They had never faced a species that fought like this. With love. With sacrifice. With unity. Back above Earth, the alien fleets vanished into deep space. The invasion had failed, but the battle had taken something precious. The apex beast drifted slowly, wounded and weak. Human ships rushed to it from all sides. Inside the command room, Ethan's tears fell silently. "Stay with me," he whispered. The beast turned its head slowly toward the viewing deck. Their eyes met across the void of space. And though its body was broken, its spirit was unshaken. The greatest battle in human history was over. But the true test of their bond was just beginning. The battlefield was silent now. Broken ships drifted through space like dark shadows. Small fires burned without sound. Above Earth, human rescue ships moved fast toward the wounded apex beast. Its massive body floated slowly, covered in burn marks and deep cracks in its black scales. Its eyes were open, but weak. Every movement was slow. Ethan stood inside the medical command ship, unable to breathe properly. Doctors shouted orders. Machines scanned the beast from far away. Alarms pulsed softly. "He took too much damage," one doctor whispered. "We don't even know his biology fully." The apex beast was moved into a massive repair chamber built from 3 joined ships. Tubes of light connected to its body. Soft energy fields surrounded it. Ethan was the only one allowed inside. He walked slowly toward the giant creature. The room was quiet. The beast's chest rose and fell with deep effort. Each breath looked painful. Ethan placed his hand on its warm scales. "You saved my world," he said softly. "Now let us save you." The The beast's eye moved toward him just a little. Across the galaxy, the news spread like wildfire. Humans had defeated a united alien fleet. Humans had fought beside a living monster. Humans had protected a beast instead of using it. Many worlds were shocked. Some were afraid. Some were curious. And some felt shame. On distant planets, rulers watched the recordings again and again. The moment the apex beast shielded the escaping human ships became the symbol of the war. A predator choosing sacrifice over survival. That image broke something old in the galaxy. On one peaceful alien world, an elder leader said quietly, "If even a beast can learn mercy from humans, then what excuse do we have left?" Slowly, messages began to arrive at Earth. Not threats, not demands, but questions. Can we learn this bond? Can humans teach us? Can we change? Back in the chamber, the apex beast suddenly trembled. Machines beeped loudly. Its heart signal weakened. Ethan's breath stopped. "Do something," he shouted. Doctors pushed more energy into the field. Robots moved quickly around the creature. The room filled with bright white light. Still the signal fell. Ethan fell to his knees beside the beast's head and pressed his forehead against its scales. "You are not alone," he whispered again. "You never will be." For a moment, nothing happened. Then something impossible began. The strange energy around the beast changed color. From cold white, it slowly turned warm gold. The machines did not control it. The doctors could not explain it. The beast's glow spread. Its wounds started to close. Slowly. Painfully, but they healed. The apex beast opened its eyes fully. Not red with rage, but soft with awareness. The room went silent. Ethan laughed through his tears. "You stayed," he whispered. The beast let out a weak, gentle sound and slowly lifted its massive head. It touched Ethan's shoulder with the soft side of its face. Not as a weapon, as a friend. Days later, the beast was moved to Earth. For the first time in history, the apex beast walked on green land. It felt grass under its claws. It felt wind across its scales. It felt rain fall across its back. Humans watched from far away at first. Not in fear, in respect. Children stood behind their parents. Soldiers lowered their weapons. Elders placed their hands on their chests. Ethan walked beside the beast as it took slow steps forward. And the beast did not attack. It only looked around in quiet wonder. Across the galaxy, the enemies who had once sworn to destroy Earth now sent a request. A single request. Peace talks. They did not come with fleets. They did not come with weapons. They came with empty hands. When the alien leaders arrived on Earth, they expected fear. Instead, they saw humans rebuilding. They saw humans caring for wounded soldiers of both sides. They even saw humans caring for rescued alien beasts freed from old war labs. One alien whispered in disbelief, "They forgive, even after everything." At the peace table, Ethan stood beside the apex beast again. One of the alien leaders asked carefully, "Why did you not turn this creature into your ultimate weapon?" Ethan answered simply, "Because it chose to be more than that." The room fell silent. In that silence, the future of the galaxy changed. The war officially ended that day. But something far more powerful began. A slow, difficult, and dangerous path toward trust. As the alien fleets returned home, they carried something new with them. Not fear of humans, but respect. That night, under Earth's open sky, Ethan sat beside the apex beast near a quiet ocean shore. Waves moved softly against the rocks. Stars filled the sky above them. "You could leave," Ethan said gently. "You're free now." The apex beast looked at the ocean, at the stars, at the wide world it had never known. Then it slowly lowered its massive body beside Ethan and rested there. It had made its choice. Again, far across the galaxy, hidden deep in the dark, something else stirred. A presence older than the apex beast. Older than human history. It had watched the war. It had seen the bond. And now it was curious. For the first time in ages, it felt something new toward humanity. Not hunger. Not anger. Interest. And the universe itself seemed to hold its breath, because the greatest challenge had not yet arrived.